Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Steer Your Career podcast. Today, I'm really excited to have a badass guest, Jill Schulman. And not only do I think she's a badass, but if you look at her LinkedIn profile and you look at her pronouns, she, her, badass.
Why not? Let's have some fun on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah. So, so besides being a badass, Jill, share with the audience a little bit about who you are and what brought you here and what got you to where you are today.
Yeah, just I'll do a quick kind of rundown. So I started my career as United States Marine. So that's a little badass part that comes in. And I had a blast, loved being a Marine. In fact, I was one of the first ever females to serve in combat engineering. And combat engineering is when you build things, but you get to blow things up. So we get to play with explosives. So that was pretty badass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I started my career. And it's such a great transferable skill, right? And then I steered my career in kind of an unintentional direction. I was getting out of the Marine Corps and I was a little bit like, I'm a captain of Marines. I'm the shit. I'm good. And I thought I wanted to be a business consultant. I didn't even know what that was. And the recruiters were just saying like, why don't you like consider like pharmaceutical sales? And I'm like, sales? Medical, what is that? And they're like, why don't you just practice your interviewing skills? So I went with a couple companies and just interviewed, and I ended up interviewing with a Marine Corps officer. So we both were Marines, and I ended up working there, and so started my career in really the pharmaceutical space. And it was pharmaceutical, biotech, medical device. Like that was basically what I did for the next 15 years. Loved it, fell in love with the science, loved leading sales, and then ended up doing leadership development as my last job as I moved up in that space. And then I decided I wanted to take a jump and start my own business. It's been a little over 10 years, 10 and a half years, founded Breakthrough Leadership Group. So did the same work, but just started doing it for like many clients. And then where I am today, because you're like, still, Jill, like you're known as the science of bravery. How did we get there? Being someone who's a leadership development consultant, I got to know my stuff. I got to research. And I stumbled upon this field of positive psychology. And I was enamored in how it can drive results in businesses. I was so enamored. I'm like, I want to study this. You can get a master's in elevating happiness and well-being in individuals' teams. And so I got my master's. And then my research that I ended up doing, and that's what brings me here today, is one of the things that holds us back from having our best careers, our best lives, is we let fear control us. And the antidote is bravery. So that is now what I'm a researcher, speaker, author. Everything about me is all about the science of bravery.
That's amazing. And I see you got your master's at Penn, where I know Adam Grant is and Angela Duckworth. Did you learn from some of those amazing professors?
Not Adam Grant yet. Hopefully, like I'm going back to Penn. I go back every year for an alumni event, and I'm always hoping. I've had conversations with him back and forth on email, but I haven't met him yet, unfortunately. But yeah, when I was studying at Penn, we had all the best minds, like Marty Seligman, who's the father of positive psychology. He was there regularly. He's still there. He's a mentor of mine. He's helping me put together ideas for book number 2. Like, it's amazing. But then all the people that come through, I'm freaking out because I don't really care about meeting like Taylor Swift. But like when someone comes in and you have Barbara Fredrickson, she wrote Positivity, all that, or like all these huge names that I just look up to are lecturing to you. Angela Duckworth is obviously a legend there. So yeah, it was really cool. I'm just like starstruck as I'm in class and they're lecturing.
Yeah, I have a non-sexual man crush on Adam Grant. That's me with Adam. My wife was actually on Oprah, and he was on Oprah the same day. They were on for different recordings. But this is a picture of me and Adam. He was coming out of the green room. My wife was going into the green room. And I was like, Adam Grant. And he actually was nice enough to comment on the business plan for Academic Career. So I did meet him in person there, but he wouldn't remember
That
me.
is so cool. Such a great guy. He's so busy, and like I sent him a note, like he just responds right away. He definitely does not have ego. He's the real deal, great guy. But I don't have a picture with him yet. So hopefully
Yes,
eventually I'll meet him.
and actually he does remember me because like I'm actually speaking to him soon because one thing I'm contemplating, I know you went back for your master's in positive psychology. I may go back and get my PhD in psych, so I'm speaking to him about that.
Oh, no way. Oh, that's so awesome. We have to talk like later here because I earned my master's and I'm doing a lot of it. And I'm going to be doing some research specifically on bravery, but I don't know if I want to get my PhD. Like, I think I just want to partner with someone who
Yeah.
does it.
Let's talk about how bravery and the squashing of fear or the opposite of fear
Mm,
has helped you, helped your clients, helps
yeah.
people to move forward.
So, just in general, like everybody has fear. Some people, when you're thinking of bravery, some people in their mind are just thinking of Marines or Navy SEALs running into battle or just a firefighter running into a burning building. So, first of all, like just let's just make sure everyone understands that we all experience fear. So, bravery is for all of us, right? So, it's not just those heroic moments. There are moments like in the workplace where we're scared to raise our hand and share our idea, or we hesitate to have the tough conversation, or we really want to change roles or post for promotion, but we hold back. So bravery is for everyone. Bravery is defined as the voluntary action in the presence of fear toward a worthy or noble goal. And so we all need to be pursuing it. And I forgot your question now. What was your question?
I-
Yeah.
Is bravery essentially the renouncement of fear?
Yeah, it is moving forward in the presence of fear. So it's not being fearless.
Oh,
Because if there is no fear, then you're not being brave. Like, I'm not being brave to get on big stages and speak because I'm comfortable doing it. Somebody else, they'd have to be very brave. So bravery is very personal. So, yeah, so that is bravery. And it does have a significant impact. And this is what I'm most excited about in my research is when people can learn to be brave, it makes such a significant impact on their success, their career, their well being. Because when you allow fear to control you or hold you back from what you want, you might have let's say you have an okay job. It's fine. It's a good job, makes a good living. It's not really what you want. You really want to do something different, but you just stay in the comfort zone and that path because you're scared to try something different. In order for you to elevate your happiness and well-being, and to really, I love the name of your podcast, I'm obsessed with it, Steer Your Career, it takes bravery to make those shifts. So yeah, bravery is absolutely relevant. And I love that bravery helps people achieve hard things and makes them more successful and improves their performance. But I'm most excited about how bravery, it actually changes the person and increases their self-efficacy, their confidence. And people look in the mirror with pride when they can face their fears, overcome their fears, and create the life they want. It creates freedom.
yeah.
It's so exhilarating when you don't let fear hold you back.
And in the job search and job acquisition, we see that fear come up so often where people feel fearful of rejection or fearful for asking for a referral, fear that I'm too old, or fear, limiting beliefs, and they
Oh,
all come colliding together. How do you, when you work with individuals or clients or speak, what are some tricks or strategies that you share with people of how they can overcome this fear that everybody has?
yeah, we all have the fears, but we have to make a choice. Are we going to step back and let the fear control us, or are we going to step forward? And then how? So that's what I'm so passionate about is I don't want to just tell people, just don't be a wimp, do it. Just don't be, because that doesn't really help. Like people need evidence-based practical tips. And so let me give you a couple. So my work in my book, The Bravery Effect, I have basically there is things that we do around mindset coming from cognitive psychology, right? I'll call it brave mindset or a warrior mindset because a lot of people hear mindset and are already like rolling their eyes going, oh, positive psychology, this is a bunch of rainbows and butterflies, oh boy, right? So I call it a warrior mindset because you've got to first win the battle in your mind, and this shit matters. This stuff, this is what will allow you to take the brave steps. Cognitive psychology, and then I'll go over a tip in behavioral psychology. How do you actually take the step? And then also in social psychology. So think of it's like a triangle here, but bravery is taking a step in the presence of fear. So it's all about the action, but mindset, a warrior mindset can help you take the step. And then creating the right environment can help you take that step. So if we start in mindset, and there's really four skills that I bring with my clients if I'm working with them to really transform their culture to become braver. I'm going to list them. You can pick one I can go into, but we talk about number one, the power of yet, developing a growth mindset, believing that you can grow and develop and get better at things. So in the workplace, like what is the one thing you have to be great at? Let's say someone has to speak in front of a group, because I used that example before, right? And someone might say, that's just not me. I don't speak in front of groups. I can't do it. but if it's critical for the business or it's critical for your career progression, then I would say add the word yet.
Yep.
I'm not great at speaking yet. So it's such a simple thing, but it opens the door to possibility. When I do that with people, I'm like, what's different? Say it again. I am not good at speaking yet. And they have that shift like, okay, it's possible and it's not going to be easy. So that's just a simple one. And then I also do, and I don't have to go through all of these, but the other ones that I bring to my clients are the stress is enhancing mindset. So your beliefs about stress, your mindset on stress and challenges is predictive of how you deal with stress. And I'm wearing my bracelet right now. I had my book launch last night. It says embrace the suck. I always say it on from the stage. So that is your mindset. And then third, we talk about how you have a superpower you're unaware of, that we can generate the emotions, the positive emotions that best serve us and our goal achievement and everyone around us at work. So a lot of people think that they are victims of their emotions. Oh, I'm in a bad mood. I'm sad. I'm down. That is just being lazy, right? Like we have to recognize our emotions, be curious, name them. So we can't ignore them. So we have to notice them, be curious about them. But then we choose what emotional state do we want to be in today in order to be our best at work. I do a lot of work on creating positive emotions, and we're generators. We can generate those. That's really powerful. And then also we talk about the internal dialogue, the self-talk, and how to overcome that. So those are all the things. And I know that's a lot, but I start with number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. But it's amazing if I can just do that work. And in the workplace, that's where I get so excited, because I worked in corporate America for 15 years. And the last 10 years, that's my client base. That's where I am every day. We haven't been doing a lot of work on the cognitive side, but what people think, what they believe impacts what they do. So we need to do a little bit more work over here. Don't just teach people how to do their skill more, but teach like their self-limiting beliefs is going to create a lot better behavior. So I like to spend some time here first on the cognitive side. And again, calling it warrior mindset, because doesn't that sound less fluffy than we're going to work on a positive mindset?
Right. On the mindset side, I'm a big fan. You mentioned Angela Duckworth before. Or actually, Carol Dweck was a growth mindset. Angela Duckworth is grit, but
Right.
grit's another one. But the growth mindset, which Carol Dweck talks about, and the power of yet is huge.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the third one that
Yeah,
that
start
you
the third
mentioned.
one. Yeah.
And the way I heard that is we can almost control our feelings to a degree, or explain the third
Yeah.
one a
Yeah.
little bit more in
So
depth.
this all comes from Barbara Fredrickson, the one that I said I was geeking out about because she was lecturing to us.
I think I remember learning about her. I was a psych major.
Yeah.
I think she's an old
So
timer, like with
yeah, she
development
is.
too.
But what she teaches, I'm standing on the shoulders of Barbara Fredrickson, and I bring her research into what I bring to my clients, but teaching people that you can create the positive emotions that will best serve you and your team and your clients, your customers. And just knowing that you can do that feels like I can do that. Well, how? Like I literally when I went through the class with her, they actually gave us this homework and she lectured, and then it was very experiential. We had to go do it. So they said, okay, so pick a positive emotion that you would want to be able to experience at the drop of a hat that would help you professionally. So for me, I thought of like serenity, because I'm wound a little tight. I'm type A. I'm a pain in the ass sometimes, and I just get all riled up. So sometimes I just need to calm down and become more serene just to get into that zone. And so they taught us, they're like, okay, now think of what are all the different things you could do within maybe 5 minutes to get into that emotional state. And they gave us all different types of examples. What could you read? What could you listen to? What could you look at? Could you do physically? And they said everyone's different, but you have to create, they called it like a portfolio. Take the name of your emotion, like maybe like calm portfolio or whatever. What are all the things that you're going to gather that you can surround yourself with that can shift you from whatever emotion you were feeling into this positive emotion of serenity? And I was like shocked. I think I had a quote, I had like an image, there was like a song that I would play, and then I would light a candle. So if I'm ever feeling frazzled, like within 3 minutes, I felt calm and serene. And we had the class of people, and someone said, if I want to feel joy when I'm sad, how could I do it? And everyone found that they could create those positive emotions. We have an ability to generate. So I want people in their careers, leaders in their organizations, realizing like the energy that I bring into the room is very important. And also emotions are contagious. Like we learn positive emotions, like they're infectious up to 3 different people. When you walk in the room in a negative emotional state, like how's that going to affect your sales deal with this customer? How's
Yeah.
that going to interact, what how the conversation goes with your boss? So that was just mind blowing. And then she not only talks about how, but then she said when you're in a positive emotional state, you are more creative, right? You are more productive. You are have better collaborative relationships at work. And she calls it the upward spiral because then your positive relationships make you in a better emotional state. And then creativity, like it's just this upward spiral. And we can create it. Isn't this new? I feel like what we see on social media is, oh, if you experience a negative emotion, then just go have a pity party in the corner and it's okay. Bullshit. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to ignore it. If you experience a negative emotion, you studied psychology too. We need to recognize it and go, okay, I'm feeling really upset right now. Okay, let me pause. Let me be curious about it. Let me name it. Huh. That's interesting. I am not that emotion. That is an emotion that I'm experiencing. I create a little distance between me and that negative emotion. All right, now let me put that aside. And now how do I want to feel to best serve me today and everything I need to get accomplished today? And what can I do to get in that emotional state? And it works.
That's brilliant. And where does that align with like manifestation? Because there's a lot of manifestation up there I have some challenges with.
Yeah,
But
I'm not you said that and you just probably saw my facial expressions. I know people are listening. You know what? I have to say, honestly, like I need to learn more about it. I know that there is some to it. I don't understand the science.
it's actually science.
I don't know.
So what you're
I don't.
referring to is change your mindset
Mhm.
versus I don't know. Maybe you and I are debating a similar thing that we're both skeptical about. So it might not be a
Yeah.
good.
So again, I don't know enough about it because instead of me just poo-pooing it, because that's what I do is I'm poo-pooing it, but I have to really seek to
Yeah.
understand it before I have and I haven't really done that. But in general, my beliefs in all of my studies, looking at all the research, manifesting never came up. But at the same time, from people I know that do talk about manifestation, a lot of it is believing that it is possible, spending a lot of time imagining what the future is that you want. And then I challenge them and say, you can sit in your room all day and think. You need to actually get off your ass and do something. And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, that manifestation causes you to act. I'm like, okay, then we're aligned. This drives me crazy because at one point, I want to tell you a story about one of my daughters. So she was listening to all this manifestation shit that she sees like online. And I'm just like, oh gosh, like what is she listening to? And she was like, I'm going to manifest. Like, I think there was like different like groups and kids she wanted to hang out with. Like she's in high school. And so she's just in her room and like manifesting. And I'm just like, honey, like you just can't sit here and hope. Like you got to go out and meet people. And then of course, because she's a teenager, she's mom, I know what I'm doing. Oh, really? Okay. So that's the danger of manifestation because
Yeah.
if people think they're just going to sit in a room and hope for it or believe it, and then someone's just going to knock on the door, I don't believe that's the way it works. But again, I need to, what is your take? I have to, but I haven't taken a look at what it's all about.
Like my take, and I'm equally skeptical, if not more, is it's like hoping without the action, without the plan.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer of plan the work and then work the plan. So identify where
Yeah.
you want to go, and if you can manifest it or envision it, and you can be more specific about it, then you can backwards engineer about what actions must I take to get there. Maybe some of it will come across luckily because you're just looking for it, but more likely it's going to be the more concerted efforts that you take to get towards that path.
Yeah. And I think there's different language. I think you and I are both would be comfortable saying, let's set a vision of the future you want. Let's set a concrete goal that aligns to that vision. Let's create all the steps that you would have to take to be able to get there. And then let's get to work. So I think we're completely aligned there. I just don't like when I hear manifest, I'm always like, okay, what does that mean? So I like mindset, like we need to believe it's possible. Like I'll cite Marty Seligman's research on learned optimism. Like you have to be optimistic that you can do it because that leads you to take action. So if manifestation helps people believe that this is possible, I can do it, and then they act, I'm cool with it. But if you don't take action, then I'm not cool with it.
100%. So you alluded a little bit towards maybe doing some research and psychological research and probably around mindset and what are you thinking about doing? Because I'm very curious about
Yeah.
how a positive mindset, positive feelings, and can improve success and improve
Mm.
as measured by getting a job faster, as measured
Uh,
by getting more money. So I'm curious
mhm.
what you're thinking about in as you're
Like
thinking about researching this more.
I can say what I'm thinking of now, but I'm actually going to be meeting with a leading bravery researcher in November. Dr. Cynthia Puri from Clemson, because she's absolutely brilliant. She's done so many things. So she knows how to research, and I just know how to get things done. So we think that we're going to be great partners. Looking at all the data and then pulling it all together. You can do research by doing empirical research and looking at everyone else's research and bringing it together. That's one way of doing it. So I've done that research to write my book. But in terms of doing an actual study where I'm doing my own like empirical like I haven't done that yet. So what I would like to do, I'm very curious because everything that is in my book, The Bravery Effect, every little suggestion that is in the parable, there is a body of evidence behind all of it. So I know every little separate thing works independently.
Hmm.
I'm curious about the combination. Like I think of back to my pharmaceutical roots, right? There'd be like one pill, there's combination therapy. Like they'll test, does this drug plus this drug together have a better efficacy? So I'm very curious because what I teach is we need to teach people on mindset, but as we had this discussion without action, it's not there. So I don't want to just do mindset. I want to look at if I can teach them how to implement the cognitive mindset reframes and apply the behavioral psychology tactics and use the social psychology, creating the environment that encourages it. So I'm curious if I have all three versus maybe just one versus
Hmm.
zero. I don't know how many arms, and this is where I don't know how to set up research, and Cynthia does, so she'll be able to tell me. And I want to do my intervention in an organization. There's one study that kind of inspired me. So, actually, on mindset, and it was Aaliyah Crum, like Sean Aker and colleagues. They were just looking at the stresses enhancing mindset. And they went into an organization. They went into, have you heard of this study? They went into a really stressful organization. It was UCB, which is a finance company, high stress because they're like trading and doing all that. And they wanted to see if shifting mindset on stress could impact performance, health, etc. So their only intervention is they created a 3-minute video that said stress is enhancing. The video was like, stress is what makes you grow. When you feel physical stress, it's your body preparing you to perform at your best. So it was all about stress is good. And then there was another video that said stress is bad. It's going to kill you. You're going to get a heart attack. You want to eliminate all stress. So half of the people did the stress is enhancing mindset video. The other half watched, they all thought they were watching the same video. The other ones watched stress is going to kill you and you want to avoid it at all costs. And then they went back to work. Now they watched this 3-minute video multiple times. I can't remember how many. That's all that they did is 3 minutes and watched it like I think 3 times a week for I don't know how many weeks. And then they followed them. And the performance of the stress is enhancing mind group was statistically significantly higher than the stress is harmful. And their job satisfaction was higher. And even their physiological response was better as measured by blood pressure changes. Even DHEA was higher over here, which is a hormone linked to resilience. So when I heard about their study, first of all, I love that study and I use that when I teach people mindset. I'm like, we have the power, how you perceive challenges and adversity will change how you respond to it. So I shift them by using that research, but I'm inspired by that because I want to go into a company because I've got relationships with like large companies where I can go in there and I want to have like the kind of the placebo arm and maybe one of the three and then maybe like combination therapy and just see what is the difference on their career, their success, etc. So that's where I'm thinking is in an organization.
Interesting. As you pursue that path, I'm interested in like you were talking about the cognitive psychology, the behavioral psychology, and the social psychology. We're trying that same exact thing with Kadima Careers, where we do work on the mindset. Probably not as much as you do because
Mhm.
we don't have trained psychologists. We have coaches that are helping people get jobs, but the mindset is a key aspect of that. And then we do train people with behaviors. So we tell them what behaviors they need to do to get those interviews and to prepare for the interviews. And then the social, we are trying to figure out gamification and leaderboards of people about the actions that they take and how that can encourage them to do the informational interviews, do the hard work that's required to open the doors. So keep me
Yeah.
updated on your
Yeah, I
research.
can keep you updated, but one thing if I can give you one suggestion or one ad is on the social side. So instead of just gamification and like scoreboards, when I looked at what parts of social psychology can help you accomplish hard things or become braver, it's really about finding people who have been able to accomplish what you're seeking to accomplish. So let's say there's some people that they finally landed the job and it was really hard, but they finally landed that great job. Now, the person that's looking for the job, we would want to pair them up with maybe three people that went through that and landed the job. And they're going to be the one mentoring this person, because when you get down, like the path to doing something hard is ups and downs. So on the ups days, I'm fine on my own. But on the down days, we need support and we need to lean on people. And so one of the things I teach too is if you want to be brave, you need to recognize when you're stuck or when you're having one of those days where you need help, and you need to be vulnerable enough to call up one of those mentors and say, hey, I've got a couple questions. Can you help me out? I'm stuck. And a lot of people are like, oh, like, no, I'm brave. I don't need help. I can do it on my own. Part of bravery is if you surround yourself with the right environment of other people who have done the hard thing, that will give you that encouragement to put courage in you to keep going. Like at one point when I was writing my book, I wanted to tap out because I was just stuck and I just didn't know if I could do it. So in the moments where you're like, should I keep applying? Should I keep interviewing? I'm ready to tap out. Like in those moments where we need to tap out, we need to surround ourselves with the people that are going to say, get back up, keep going. This is the moment that will define you. That next job, that next interview could be the right one. Or for me, when I was having trouble, if I wouldn't have had one specific mentor of mine that just told me he has 48 best-selling books, and he's the mentor, and I told him, I'm like, I have writer's block. I can't write. I don't know what's wrong with me. And he's, oh yeah, same thing happened to me when I was starting. And I'm like, what? The same thing happened to you. You had self-limiting beliefs you didn't think you could write. And he's, oh yeah, me too. So when you have someone like that, then you feel like, oh, this is just a normal part of growth and development. So having those people that have gone through the path you're seeking, it is everything. They're not going to allow you to slack. They're going to go like, all right, you're going to keep going, and they're going to hold you accountable. So that's just a little tweak that I would suggest. As people get jobs, then they can serve the group by helping mentor the other ones.
I think that's great. And we do encourage people to reach out to those that have been at their current company and now are at the new company that they want to work at. So if they previously worked at PwC and now they see someone's working at OpenAI, reach out to someone there and say, hey, how do you get into there, and understand that. And sometimes you get that mentor that's willing, but sometimes you get that mentorship somewhere else. But even just seeing that there are other people from PwC that got to OpenAI, so they're not just hiring people that are native AI experts.
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
that helps to shape that vision, and gives you motivation to achieve the goal.
And the interesting thing is, because you just mentioned Duckworth earlier, she's going to be speaking in October at our alumni event. But I already know what her next book is about. It's not out yet, but it's coming out soon. But what Angela has shared is everything was great in grit, but she goes, you know what, I didn't realize, in order to be gritty, it's the environment that you create really helps you be gritty consistently. So she's like, I missed that. So her next book that'll be coming out, and she's talked about it on podcast, so I can share it, is really about how do you create the environment to make it easier to be gritty. So that's what we want to do. How do I create the environment so that each day I can be going out and doing everything I can to find that next job? And if you just hang out with all the same people that you always talk to and they're not going through the same struggles, that's not going to help you.
Yeah, that's so key. And also it's important to be honest that not everybody starts from the same starting place, but everybody can get to meet with those people that they want to be with. Some people are just starting from a further standpoint back, but if people want to start hobnobbing with people from Goldman Sachs, you might not be able to get there right away, but you talk to people at Bank of America, you talk to people at Chase, and build your way up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we could talk about this forever. Can I add one more thing that we're just talking about as you're talking to people? As people go to networking events or they're trying to get to know people, I think so many times we don't even know how to be strategic networkers or how to ask. So as you said, you can't be scared to ask. And I actually learned myself, and it has been a game changer for me, something I learned from David Meltzer, who's like
I
a
know David Meltzer. I have a picture with him too.
Okay. So David was at my lunch party last night. So he's top of mind right now. But so one thing that David asked me, and he was helping me because I was always hesitant to ask for help. I don't want to bother someone. So he has this way of teaching it that makes it more comfortable for everyone. So now I just pass it along to everyone that I think could benefit. So what David taught me, so I'm going to give him all credit for this. He goes, when you meet someone, first take an interest in them. So be interested before you're interesting and ask them, like, what's the most exciting thing you're working on? Like, really be interested. And then try to find out, is there any avenue there where I can bring them value and try to offer, could I introduce you to someone? Or, oh, I know. So try to always see if you can bring value. And then there'll be a time where they're going to ask about you. And then instead of just asking like, hey, Alan, can you help me do this? Will you do this for me? Instead, David says, say it like this. Do you know of anyone who could introduce me to someone in this department? Or do you know of someone who might be able to help me do X? So you're really asking the person what you want, but you're saying, do you know of anyone who might be able to help me do X? And I tell you, the reason why I love it is I'm very comfortable saying that, right? And it allows the person to, 9 times out of 10, they're like, I can help you do that. Like I have the means to do that. I'll do it for you. And if they don't, or they don't want to, then they'll probably give you the name of somebody else. So then you've got the name of somebody else, and then you say, would you mind if I use your name, if I reach out to them, or you connect me? So that's just really helped me is instead of just thinking you're going and trying to be self-serving, like I'm going to go and I'm just going to try to get stuff from people. Instead, I'm going to try to make genuine connections with people, understand what they're doing, try to bring value, and then ask like who they may know that might be able to help me. And if I can get like 1 or 2 of those real commitments in one networking meeting, it's a lot better than getting 25 business cards that are meaningless.
100%. And I love that question. And it lowers the barrier to ask.
It does.
And it doubles your likelihood of success because
Exactly.
either actually more than doubles it because it's just not that person, but then they're going to think through their head who can help you there.
Exactly. Yeah. Isn't it? It's brilliant. I'm like, thank you, David. Like, there's 3 things he's taught me that I'm just like, he's keep spreading it, pay it forward. I'm like, I always give you credit. And I don't even know, like, he probably didn't come up with it. He probably learned it from somebody else too, but.
So let me try that with you here and see how this goes before we wrap things up. But Jill, do you know anyone that can help me find a business development rep that wants to work at Kadima Careers and help accelerate careers? Do you know anyone who can help me find that BDR?
Okay, so you're looking to hire like someone to do a business development.
Business development rep. So someone
Okay.
to reach out to ambitious professionals and find out if if they're interested in getting a better job and then getting them booked with a call with our sales team.
I can think of definitely a couple different people. Can they be any different industry?
It can be any different industry. I'm looking for people that are gritty, people that care about our mission of accelerating careers and have a growth mindset, want to grow their careers. It's a good entry role and it will grow into something quite nice.
Yeah, let's
So,
connect afterwards. There's a couple
yeah,
people popping up in my mind and we'll see if they're a good fit. But yeah, I think it could be win-win, right? This might be perfect for a couple people I have in mind. Yeah,
I'll shoot David a note and tell him thank you for that tip. That was awesome.
it works. Yeah.
And one other question and for you is what's something interesting that you're working on right now?
Oh, gosh. I think the most exciting thing, I just launched the book. So I'm so excited to finally I feel like I've given birth, Alan, to like a baby. Like it's been incubating for so long and now I'm finally presenting it to the world. So one of the things I'm excited to do is just bring this message to the greatest number of people possible because I know the transformative impact when people learn to be brave and anyone can learn to be brave. So that is one of the things I'm most excited about is I just want to So I'm trying to scale, right? My business before is I have a leadership development business and very successful. I'm booked out like a year in advance of doing workshops. But I got this advice actually from John Gordon the other day. He used this little phrase. He goes, "Don't let good get in the way of great."
Yes.
Love
I
that
like
one.
that. And progress is an enemy, or perfection is an enemy of progress.
Yeah, I've got this good business over here and I want to keep the business going. So I'm hiring other people to deliver, but to get to become great, like I'm really excited about really allowing other people to take over this business to allow me to focus on this passion of mine on the science of bravery. So I'm excited about that. And with that, there's so many other things. Like I'm writing in some different journals now, like Forbes and Psychology Today and Fast Company. And I've got an invitation to at least submit an article for Harvard Business Review. No guarantees, but at least they want to see it. This is such a great opportunity for me to get this research, these tangible skills out to broader audiences. So that's what I'm excited about. And I'm already starting like book number 2. Like I can't wait to, because book number 1 is written as a parable, Alan. So I wrote it as a parable because stories stick and people will actually read the whole thing. But the nonfiction one, that one's going to be even more challenging. But I think it's needed, like a definitive book on the science of bravery. So that'll be fun to get started on as well.
I'm looking forward to it. Awesome. So the last 2 questions I have for you, and I would love to go longer, and I'll follow up with you about some other
Yeah.
ways that we can potentially partner here. But last 2 questions I have for Jill is what besides conquering fear, besides the power of yet, you gave lots of great sick career advice here. What's one last piece of sick career advice you want to leave our listeners with today?
We've talked about so much. Last one, I would say when something scares you, when you feel the fear, your natural reaction is to usually run the other direction because you're uncomfortable, you're afraid of failure, you're afraid of uncertainty, whatever that is. So instead, the next time you feel fear, I just want you to run toward it. So just that little simple thing, like even for me, like I feel like in any of the moments where there was an opportunity, but I was scared, if I would have run at it faster, I think my career trajectory would have been a lot different. So let's try to reframe fear. So when you feel that fear, it's usually a sign that this is important and you should move toward it. So just run toward what. Have you ever heard of like the analogy of the buffalo, what buffaloes do?
No.
You're like, what is this, Jill? I promise it relates to bravery. When there's storms that are coming in, and people who have studied buffaloes, and not me, I just heard the story of them. When there's a horrible storm coming in, buffaloes are unique from other like herd animals, like cows and other. What they do is instead of running away from the storm, they run toward the storm. And because they run toward the storm, they run toward the storm and they keep running and they get out on the other side faster.
Huh. They weren't, okay,
So
interesting.
it makes sense, right? So maybe there's a challenge or adversity and you're kind of scared and you just want to avoid it. You want to avoid it, right? So when there's that thing that you fear, that discomfortable thing, if you run toward it, so be like a buffalo, just run toward it because solving it and getting on the other side is what you want to get done faster. Don't be like a cow that runs away. Like cows are cowards. They run away and then they're under the cloud in the storm for so much longer. God, if there's that challenge, that adversity, or even that thing that you want, just run at it in your career. If you just keep doing that in your career, you're going to solve problems faster. You're going to pursue job opportunities faster, and it's going to serve you so well.
Amazing advice. And last question. I know you have your book out, The Bravery Effect, and you're coming out with another book, which is great. How can people find you or connect with you or reach out to you?
My website's the best place to go because if anyone just wants a free bravery assessment, so if you think you're brave, you want to know, and a free guide on how to apply some of these things for your career search, those are all available on my website. Just go to my website, jillschulman.com. Schulman is Schulman. So go there, get those free resources. And additionally, I'm mainly on LinkedIn. So just connect, and this is professional, steer your career. So just please find me, follow me on LinkedIn. I'm always trying to post with little things that can help you be brave each day. And I know I've got to do a better job on the other platforms, but I'm working on that. 2026, I'll try to get better on those other ones.
Aren't we all? Okay, Jill, thank you so much for your time and insight. I'm glad our paths crossed, and I look forward to continuing the conversation about bravery and how that helps in careers and life.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Thanks, Jill.